Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am back to show you some more of a design team project for Doreen over at Ooh La La Vintage Treasures. And the other day I showed you my little journal that I named Jolie, made out of the Ooh La 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 Parisienne Fashion Boutique Kit. And when I was creating this little cutie, I had the idea to make a whole set of desk accessories to go along with this beautiful journal, because I love this kit so much and I just didn't want to finish playing with it. So I created a few little trinket trays and a beautiful pin cushion that I'd like to share with you what I've done. So first, let's take a look at the kit. This was the La Parisienne Fashion Boutique Kit. And look at these beautiful pages. Look at that gorgeous ruffle page. I love that. And then we've got the beautiful dress forms and the coat rack. And some collage pages. And right here, this is the cover of the journal that I did. And the beautiful collars and sleeves. And look at all the pearls in the background. I just love those pages. The way Doreen collages everything together is just so beautiful. There's another collage page. Little snippets on that one. And then we get into the ephemera pages. Beautiful pieces. And you'll see I've cut little pieces out and put them on my little trinket trays. I'll show you in a minute. But it just goes to show you that these are not strictly for making books and journals and things. You can do all kinds of things with these digitals. There was a little page with the small little postcards, and I tore a piece out of that one, which I put in a tray. And then the Biscotti Clutch Kit over here. This is kind of what started it all. I had planned to put the journal inside this Biscotti Silk Clutch Kit, but she was too fat and chunky by the time I got finished with her. So I'll show you when we're finished with all of the desk accessories what I did with her. So this is the Biscotti kit. There are just a few pages, there's more, but I just printed out a few. So that's a lovely page with the vintage looking roses. Some collage piece with the 4 different styles there. And another collage page. Let's see, I've got that upside down. With the beautiful doilies and the lace snippets. I thought that was lovely. And then one of the ephemera pages with the little corner pockets. And look at these sweet little brooches that can be cut out and used for different things. So again, Biscotti Silk Clutch Folio Kit. So I showed you the flip through of this sweet little journal the other day, but when I was making her, I had all of the ephemera that I was using, and it was just kind of all over my desk. So I had the idea, because I usually cut out quite a bit of the pieces, and I'll show you a few of those that did not get used in the journal. So I usually cut out quite a bit of the ephemera to have handy as I'm creating, and I thought I needed a place for it. So I had made some tags. I had cut out some of the pretty little pieces to make tags out of. This lady was on one of the collage pages, and I used one of my dies and cut a tag out of that one. And then just all kinds of pretty little pages here that I cut out. There's those beautiful doors. I just love those. The beautiful pearls, the dress forms. So lots of fun pieces. And then piece of the collage page, and these are some of the pages that I embossed. But I had nowhere to put them, and they were just kind of rattling around on my desk. So I had this little box, and I got the idea to make a little ephemera holder that would sit on the desk. And how sweet is that? It's just a little wooden box. And then I took pieces out of the kit pages, and I decoupaged them on there and put a little strip of lace on the center side, slat I mean. And then I just decoupaged over it, took a little doily and some chiffon ribbon and made a little ribbon flower. And this is one of the pieces that I printed on canvas fabric, and I cut that out and I made the little flower, put a little lace overlay on it, and a little vintage button that I sewed on. So isn't that darling? And it's just the absolute perfect size to sit on your desk with all the ephemera, and it looks so pretty. And in this neutral, it just would go with any kind of decor. I thought that was really lovely. So that was my first piece. And then I needed some place to put little trinkets that I was working with. So I got all my little trinkets and I made this little trinket tray. And I decoupaged a piece of the Biscotti Silk Clutch Kit. I tore around and inked around the edges, made it like a rough cut, and then I cut fussy cut one of the bows out of I believe it was the La Parisienne kit, and out of the page where I showed you the ephemera where I tore some words out, that was the word chic that I tore off of there. And then I took that lady that we made the tag out of. There is another piece where she's collaged on in a smaller form, and I cut her out, tore her out, and collaged her on there as well with the little shoe. I thought that was so sweet. And then on the inside of the tray, I just put 2 little strips of lace right there, put some little pearls in the corner, and on the side, I just did a little snippet. Just a little lace snippet and a little bow. And that can be removed if you don't want that on there. That can always be untied and taken off, and then the pieces be used in one of your creations. So I thought that was very sweet, and I just love how it holds the perfect amount of trinkets. I have trinkets everywhere in boxes and bins, and I didn't want to go taking my whole stash off the shelf to dig through, so I just selected a few pieces that I thought I might like to work with and put them in the little tray. And then, just because I had another tray, I made a second one. And this one is a little bigger, so this will hold your larger bling. Isn't that brooch beautiful? Doreen just sent us that in a challenge that we're doing for her design team. And a pretty little pearl bracelet I put in there. But again, I just took pieces out of the La Parisienne Fashion Boutique kit, and I just tore little bits and pieces out here and there and collaged them on. And I thought it turned out so beautiful. I just love these photos of the Eiffel Tower and the beautiful suitcases and the vintage shoes. And then I had to put Ooh La La in there as a homage to Doreen and her beautiful kits. And then the haute couture, because we're working with the Fashion Boutique kit. And then I just lined it on the 2 sides with pearls, and on the sides I did little snippets again. I thought that was really sweet. So I did matching snippets, and from the side, let's see if we can see it. So it looks really sweet. It's not overdone, it's not glued on there, so it's easily changed if you don't want it on there. And if you feel compelled to use the little bits, then they're right there. There's a little charm, a little rondelle with the rhinestones on either side. And I just tied it on there with a little snippet of lace. So isn't that beautiful? I just think that turned out lovely. I'm in love with this one. I just think that's so pretty. And then to complete my little desk set, I made a pincushion. And out of the fabric, the printed on fabric that I used for the Biscotti kit, I just printed it out, and I took a little piece and I backed it with some silk moire fabric, and I stitched it together on my sewing machine and left a little opening here where I put the batting in. And inside, I don't know if you can see inside here, I used a piece of batting, the flat batting, and I double layered it to give it some substance when you're sticking the pins in. And this canvas fabric is pretty substantial on its own. It's pretty thick, but I added that for a little extra padding. Just stuffed all the batting in there, And then what I did is I tucked it under like that. And then I just took my needle and I sewed around it to close up that end. You had to leave a pretty good end open so you could get all the batting in there, and it's pretty stiff. When I folded it right side out after I had stitched it, it was a little tough, but you can see it's kind of puckery. But I added this lace when I did the actual design, and I put this really pretty ribbon lace in there, and I tucked it down inside my little vessel, and you can't tell, it covers up all of that kind of puckering. And this is the vessel that I used. Isn't that beautiful? A pretty depression glass little fluted edge dish, and I got this at one of my thrifting haunts that I love to go to, on one of my Thrifty Thursday Thrifted Treasures ventures that I went on. But I thought that was so beautiful, and I think it looked so vintage with that beautiful coloring. So there she is from the side. I did a little snippet on that as well, and I collaged a little bit of lace and netting and a little doily. And then this is a little flower made out of some, oh goodness, some fabric, muslin. I couldn't get my word. Out of some muslin fabric. And then I put a little bling in the middle of it just to add a little pizzazz. And then I stuck my pretty pins that I had made in there. Isn't that pretty? I just think that turned out so pretty. It's very simple on the back. I left it so you could see the little scallops. And then there again, if you don't want the snippet, you just can remove that. And we'll see how it looks without the snippet. I can get my fingers in there to get it off. So it's very plain and cute without the snippet as well. And as you can see, it's got some pretty good oomph to it, so your pins don't get floppy and wobbly. But I just love how that one turned out. I absolutely love it. And because I am a lace girl, I love the snippet, so I'm putting it back on. So isn't that sweet? I just love it. And then, to circle all the way back around to what started it all, the beautiful Biscotti Clutch Kit. I wasn't quite sure what to put in there. Let's see if I can get some room here. So I toyed around with it, and I thought, well, I could make another little folio or something to put in it. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a pretty goodie pack to put in there. So that's what I did. And I just tied it on the back. We'll kind of revisit the clutch again. A pretty organza flower and some pretty fabric there that I did a little ruching on. Did a little bling, and I put the vintage lace on there. There's a pretty applique underneath. And on the back, I left it relatively simple with just some little applique, or some doilies, and some bling. And just overlaid it with some real sheer netting with the embroidery on it. And I tied it closed. I didn't want to put a big closure on the front because it has the beautiful brooch, the cameo brooch, and this is removable. You can remove that and use it elsewhere if you would like. So I just tied it with a piece of chiffon ribbon. And I have to apologize, in my last two videos, for whatever reason, I kept calling this ribbon organza ribbon. And the minute I'd shut the camera off, I'm like, oh, you silly, that is not organza, it's chiffon. So the chiffon ribbon is what I tied it with, and I think it looks so pretty with the other elements up here, and the coloring is just perfect. So let's untie this little beauty and see what's inside. Isn't she lovely without the ribbon too? I just think it's so, so pretty. put a little vintage lace with the sequin and the pearl trim on the bottom. And then see how you can still see the beautiful Biscotti digital behind there? I think that is so lovely. So then we open her up and look at the yumminess. I did put a little band up here out of the printable fabric so things can be tucked up in there. But I decided to stuff her with some beautiful pieces that you can use to embellish your projects with. So I made a little bundle. Look how beautiful, that beautiful applique, and how pretty the lace looks when it's draped over, when it's opened up. I just love that. So I did a beautiful bundle of some goodies that you can use to play with. I tied this Battenberg doily that it's wrapped in a beautiful piece of lovely vintage lace. There's a little, just a shade longer than a yard there. I like to always include at least a yard if I have it, so you have enough to play with. And I put a little dangle on here, and on the dangle is a little snippet from Doreen's suitcases kit, her vintage suitcases kit, which I also printed out on fabric. And this one is printed on muslin. And look at how precious she is. Doesn't she just look so perfect with the pearl and the vintage lace, a little bit of bling, and just really dresses that snippet up lovely. I just think she's so beautiful. So I love how Doreen's kits just work seamlessly with one another. So we've got 3 different kits going on here with little touches of things from the other kits, and I just think that it looks so perfect together. So there's a little snippet. On the snippet there's multiple layers to play with for your embellishing. There's all kinds of little pieces. Gorgeous piece of wedding fabric on that one. And some more wedding fabric with some pearls and rhinestones. Piece of vintage there. Some embroidered pretty sheer fabric. There's a whole applique that I left untouched. And then another piece of beautiful lace. And then let's untie it and see what's inside. I tried to keep track of everything that I put in, and I will rattle it off here in just a moment, but I will double check and get a correct count, just in case I missed everything or something. So far it looks like I have 4 yards of lace, 3 applique sets where you have the right and the left side of the applique, 5 crocheted doilies, 3 other appliques, 2 crocheted flowers, 3 Battenberg doilies, 1 vintage linen hanky, a beautiful bling collar piece that you'll see in just a moment, and then it's wrapped in this beautiful vintage Battenberg doily. So look at how lovely. Oh, and we've got another little piece of beautiful pearl bow. So we start with that, and then we'll just go through the layers. We have this beautiful full applique. Look at how gorgeous that is. I love that color. It's absolutely stunning. And it's a nice, great big piece. I just love that. And then we go to, I'm trying to find my remote. My commercial came on my radio. I don't like that. So look at this. Absolutely stunning piece here. I'll bring it up close. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that absolutely stunning? It is so pretty. This can be used for all sorts of things. It can be used as a whole piece. You can see in between each section where you can cut it. You can snip it right there. You can use the little pieces of the rhinestones. You can use a whole, like say you want to hold one of these strips for a dangle. You could do that. Look at that big piece in the center. And then there's little loops on either end, so you could tie it into something. And if you're so compelled, you can add a chain to it and just wear it. Isn't that gorgeous? So much fun things you can do with that. And then I have the little vintage hanky. And I thought that was so pretty. Beautiful linen. That was very soft and very beautiful. And then we have the 3 Battenberg doilies. And this one has been avocado dyed. And then these 2 came as is. So it's in a beautiful, kind of a vintagey looking color. And then we have another beautiful crochet doily. This one has been avocado dyed as well. And then 3 of the crochet doilies, which are very beautiful. It's a little tiny one and 2 larger ones. And then here is the first set of matching appliques. Isn't that stunning with the beautiful sequins and the pearls? And this one has been coffee dyed. I did coffee and avocado on the same day, and oddly enough, they turned out very similar. The avocado did not have a big pink look to it, but those are beautiful pieces. They can be used as is, or cut little pieces off, cut the little flowers, cut the little flourishes off, and use that way. And then we have some of the smaller pieces. I have a set of little hearts, little heart appliques, and then here are the flowers, little crocheted flowers. And then there's a beautiful set of gold corner appliques. You can use them as a page tuck on a corner. You can wrap them around a book. You could put them on the edge of a box and use them as a corner on a box. That would be lovely. So a pair of those. And then here's another pretty applique with the organza fabric and the embroidery. And this is a beautiful vintage doily. That one is so delicate. I just love that one. And then we have a lace collar set for the next set of appliques, and these have been coffee dyed as well. So you've got your right and your left there. Oops. Those are so pretty. I just love those. Very intricate detail in those. And then your 4 yards of lace. So this lace is vintage, and this has been avocado dyed. As you can see, it almost has more of a tea dye appearance than an avocado dye. It's very faint. This one you can tell a little more of the avocado. It's got a little bit more of a pinkish look. And this lace is just stunning. I love this kind of dangle lace. You can cut little sections out and use them in snippets or embellishments or for collaging, or you've got the whole beautiful piece that can be wrapped around something and dangle down. I love that. And then some coffee dyed eyelet. And there's a yard of that. You can never go wrong with eyelet, can you? It's so timeless. And then this is another piece of vintage lace, and this one was avocado dyed as well, but there again, it's got more of a tea dye look than a pinkish look. So I thought that was lovely. And then this absolutely stunning Battenberg doily that it was all wrapped up in. I just think that is beautiful. You could do so much with that. You could make a little pouch, beautiful little pouch, little envelope you could stitch on the sides and have it be opening on the top like that. If you're so compelled to do so, you can cut the little Battenberg pieces out, the little doily pieces, and use those. There's a beautiful little heart. So that is that. And then lastly, inside the clutch that I successfully buried here on my desk, I included, of course, a little goodie bag, because you have to have goodies, right? So again, there's a little button and a little snippet. And let's see, let's take our little tray. I've got a lot going on this desk right now, don't I? Let's take our little tray and spill out our goodies and see what all's in there. I just love the snippets on the organza bags. I think they look so pretty. So we've got several flowers in here. Whoops, lost it. So let's see, I think I had 6 in there, so 6 flowers. And then here's a little snippet of a flower with a little pearl on there, a little pearl leaf. I thought that was very sweet. And then there are 7 little bows, little satin bows. And those are perfect. 6, 7, yes, I don't know why 7. There was 7 in a pack rather than 8 or 6. That didn't make sense to me, but that's what it is. So those are fun for embellishing. And then I have, I think there were 12 vintage buttons in here of the larger buttons, and then I just grabbed a handful. I got a box of these beautiful mother of pearl buttons at an estate sale, and I have a whole ton of them, so I just pinched up a handful and put them in there. I don't know how many's in there, but there's a good amount. And then I added some little pretty Aurora Borealis crystal beads in there. And there's a handful of those. And then there's some of the shattered glass beads that I think are so pretty. And there's one more, here it is. So there's 2 white and 2 in a more of a golden, kind of ivory golden color. So that is that. And then the pretty vintage buttons. I just love those. Look at that one, how pretty that is with the shimmer. This wooden look one. Here's another one. This one has some variegated coloring in it. And then some more milky, creamy white ones. And then the big one. I love, love, love the big one. That would be so pretty on a cover of a book. And then a pretty milky white one. So that is the goodie bits that is inside. So that is the completion of my desk set, my journal, which has been sold already. So thank you to the recipient for that. I'm so grateful for that. But the clutch with all the goodies is still available, as is all of the desk accessories. So if anyone is interested, you're welcome to message me on my socials. They'll be linked below. And of course, I will link Doreen's Ooh La La Vintage Treasures Etsy shop link below. You have to rush over there and see her new kit. Oh my goodness, it's to die for. It is absolutely stunning, as is all of her kits. But you will have no trouble finding something that you would like to play with and make something beautiful out of yourself. So as always, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm inching up on the 300 mark on the subscribers, so I am so tickled about that. And I just am so grateful to those of you who have liked and commented and have subscribed. And I hope you continue to follow along with me on my crafty journey. I am having so much fun learning new things, following all you talented crafters, and getting ideas and inspiration from you. And I just am having my absolute best crafty life. I told my husband the other night, when I retired, my goal was to spend time with my grandchildren, to read, to do my crafts again, and to volunteer, and I am having so much fun getting to do absolutely all of that. So it is just a happy time, and I just am so glad you're all here following along with me. So thanks again so much. I hope you all have a very blessed rest of your week, and or start of, this is Monday, so I guess it's the start of your week, so have a blessed rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye y'all.